I know damn well Yoru ain't about to do this. Is Yoru about to do this?
You don't know how to use your power. Let me show you.
Y'all, we back at it with another chapter of Chainsaw Man, chapter 208. And if this chapter tells us anything, it tells us the love and bond between, it's crazy to say it's a three-way triangle, but you know what I'm saying, between your boy Denji, Asa, and Yoru. Like, this chapter really shows that they all really care for each other. Despite how tough they try to act, despite how much they try to hide it, it's obvious after reading this chapter that they all care for one another. Now, when it comes to Yoru power, we know she can turn things into weapons, and the more she cares about a certain object or whatever, once she turns it to a weapon, the more powerful it will be, depending on her bond with it. Now, I never thought to myself, like, does she have the ability to restore things that she turns to weapons? Like, once you're turned to a weapon, can she change it back to its original form once she's done with it? Or is it one of those things, once you're turned into a weapon, you're stuck like that forever? I'm very curious about that, because we never really got a deep dive into her powers. We just know the simple version of what it can do, which is change things she have bonds with into weapons. You know, the stronger the bond, the more powerful the weapon. So I'm very curious about that, and I wonder if that's something that, you know, we will find out later on in the future, that she can restore items. And if she can, that would make her even more powerful and broken, you know. But we about to get into this chapter here. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell for all notifications. I greatly appreciate it. And if you do rock with this video, by the time you get to the end, make sure you thumb it up. And if you don't like it, thumb it down. You know, all feedback is good feedback. With that being said, though, let's get right into it. So the chapter starts off, you got the gun, the tank gun that Asa or Yoru made in the previous chapter, slamming into the ground. Now, I remember in the previous chapter when she was holding that gun and she, you know what I'm saying, and you had Denji grab her leg. You know, Denji was saying that it was heavy, like that she was heavy, and that was because of the weight of the gun. Now, I'm very curious if that was what they were trying to show us by showing us this one panel of the gun smacking the ground, that it is indeed a heavy ass weapon. But you got it where both of them fall back to the ground, this indicating that the fallen devil has been taken out. Now I'm like, yo, damn, okay, the fact that they're on the ground, that mean they did it. They took it out. You know, next thing you know, the fallen devil is back again, floating in the air, saying, satisfied, like, yo, I allowed you guys to believe you defeated me. Are you happy now? Now that you have a little, you know what I'm saying, a little brief, you know, moment of happiness, can we just stop this now and you go about your day and I continue to do what I want to do? But of course, you got it where Yoru, she's like, damn, she's mad. And you have it where fallen devil does say something that makes sense when it comes to terms with both of their powers. She says the fear of falling awakens in all living things the moment they first gain awareness. That's deep as shit. Like, I never even thought of that as like, you know, as something, but it's really true. Like, everyone has a fear of falling once you become aware of what falling is, you know, the pain and stuff that can happen from falling. And she's like, yo, war is but a concept created by humans. You could never hope to best me. Damn. Hey, yo, that line alone should have had Yoru like, yo, she's right. It's nothing we can do. That shit was so damn powerful. You, like, all she could do was look at fallen devil and it's like, damn it, you know. And she was like, yo, but if you continue to interfere, or if you feel like you still need to interfere, I will have to, you know what I'm saying, take you guys out with minor wounds. Meaning she's not going to kill them, but she's going to wound them enough where they won't be able to interfere with the plans that she has in store, or truly what the plans of, you know what I'm saying, the Death Devil has, you know, in store. But anyway, you have it where all the weapons that Yoru shot at her in the previous chapter, she begins to lift them up with her abilities, and then she begins to point them in the direction of, you know what I'm saying, Yoru and Denji. And then you have it where Yoru tells Denji, like, yo, my leg is still wounded. Denji's looking at her like, say what? And he's no longer in his chainsaw man form because of what happened in the previous chapter when he was, you know, overwhelmed with the grief and sorrows of his life. So you have it where he grabs Yoru and begins to run. They're dodging all of the blades that's flying towards them. And then you have it where Denji has a callback to, you know, the chapter we got at the beginning of part 2, where he's like, yo, Yoru, Well, he says both of their names because he's not sure who's in charge. He's like, Asa, Yoru, a motorcycle, you know what I'm saying? Make a chainsaw motorcycle. And you have it where they say like, yo, we can't do that. We don't see any motorcycles. We need a motorcycle to transform it. And you have it where all these weapons are flying towards them. And you have it where Yoru, she's looking at them and she's doing her bang attack to blow these weapons up before they make contact with Denji as well as herself. Then you have it where Denji busts inside this house. You got a man in there hiding. I imagine this man was just like, yo, why? Of all the buildings in the area, why did you choose the building that I'm hiding in? I know he was thinking that like, this is some bullshit. I would have been saying that. I would have been like, man, come on, man. Come on. Give me a break. I would have been doing something like that. Honestly, I probably would have ran out the building once I seen them run in, and I may have not known they were devils, but knowing that blades were flying towards them, I'm ghost. I'm out of here, man. I'm like, hey, yo, y'all can have the building. There's some drinks in the fridge. You're more than welcome to it. I'm gonna head out the back. That's exactly what I would have did. But of course, you got this guy, rather than running, he's just like, yo, hey, you can't come in here. And I'm like, oh, bro, you should have took this opportunity to get out the way. But next thing you know, you got all these weapons, blades flying through the wall of the door that they just ran into, of the house they just ran into. And even the guy, like, he's still standing up while they're taking cover. And I'm like, yo, you see them ducking. Why the hell aren't you ducking? But you see, like, the blades almost hit them, but it's kind of like stuck between the wall and them. Like, the blades were able to penetrate but not fully go through. And if you look at these weapons, it's crazy because one of the weapons is like a fish head with like a spine coming out of it. And I'm like, Yoru, you really created a weapon like that? Like, when? Why? But anyway, you got it where all of them are just looking like, yo, what are we gonna do next? Even down to the innocent bystander, he's in like a deep sweat, like, yo, this shit is over for me. And of course, you have it where Yoru says like, I'll use my ultimate weapon too. Which means, you know, the first ultimate weapon, I'm assuming, was the Statue of Liberty. I don't think she considered the tank gun that she used in the previous chapter to be her ultimate weapon. Maybe she did, but I'm assuming she's talking about the United States statue that she used as a weapon against, what was it, the Asian devil. But anyway, you have it where she places her hand on top of Denji's head, and I'm looking like, yo, I know she's not about to do this. She's about to turn your boy Denji into a weapon. And like, you have it where she's looking Denji in the eye. Denji's looking at her, he's breathing hard, he's sweating from all the running. Next thing you know, you have it where Asa takes control of the body. She stops Yoru and she says, no, Denji, please run away. Yoru, she wants to turn you into a weapon. And then you got the innocent bystander, he's observing like, yo, what are you guys talking about? And of course, Denji looked like it almost looks as if he's hurt right now. Like, he's like shocked and surprised that she would want to do that. Then it almost looks as if he's coming to accept the decision that Yoru was going to do, because then he goes to say like, go ahead, if it lightens my sins a little, I'm okay with it, which shows that Denji is still suffering. Even though he was able to get himself together in the previous chapter, he's still suffering from the things he considered to be mistakes that he did in the past that caused people their lives. And he also made me thinking that this is the choice, this is the decision that the fire devil was talking about that he would have to make. I imagine that that's playing in his mind as well. And for him, he's like, yo, if I could sacrifice myself to save others, that'd be a way to to make up for some of the sins that I committed. So you have it where he looks at her and he says, come on, turn me into a badass weapon. And then, Asa's saying, you can't do that. Like, yo, please don't do that. That shows how much she cares for him. The fact that she was able to take control of her body over from Yoru and stop her from her plans of turning Denji into a weapon shows that, like, yo, despite how powerful Yoru is, Asa would do whatever it takes to protect someone she truly cares about. And of course, once Denji says, like, yo, turn me into a badass weapon, you see that your girl Yoru gets control over the body again, and she places her hand on Denji's head, and I'm like, yo, she's about to do it. She's about to change him into a weapon. And then you have it where Yoru herself stops. She says, on second thought, I'd rather not do it. And then with her saying that, there's one or two things. We know her and Yoru, her and Asa their emotions kind of like intertwine, like they share emotions. What one person feels, the other one feels. So maybe the feelings that she, maybe the reason she stopped is from the feelings that she's getting from your girl Asa. Like she's like, yo, Asa truly cares about him, and I don't want to do that to her because we're one and the same. Or it could be her own feelings where she's like, yo, I don't want to do that to Denji because I care for him as well. It's a thin line between their feelings, and it's almost like I feel like they're kind of separate now. I know they say their feelings kind of mushed together, but now I feel like they're completely individuals, hence them swapping bodies. And I feel like her feelings are now her own, and so how she feels about Denji is how she feels about Denji, and how Asa feels about Denji is how Asa feels about Denji. If that makes sense. That probably, some of y'all probably like, what the fuck? But in my head it makes sense. But anyway, yo, I feel like she has just as strong feelings from Denji without being affected by Asa's feelings as Asa has for Denji. So I feel like that was one of those things where she knew, like, if she was to change him to a weapon, there's a good chance that he wouldn't be able to go back to his normal state, being the person that she's grown to love and care about. That's my thoughts on the matter. But once she stops, once she decides not to do that, next thing you know, you have another barrage of weapons actually flying through the building and going towards both of them, as well as the innocent bystanders, which I said that dude should have ran out the back door a long time ago. I'm telling you, it's not even 10 seconds would have went by and I would have already been out the building. But anyway, you got it where these blades are falling in. It looks like nothing hit Denji at this moment. It looks like nothing hit the innocent bystanders. But if you look closely, it looks like Yoru got hit in the brain by a spear of some sort, some type of spine spear. Now, with this happening, one or two things could happen. Like, she could suffer from memory loss from that blow, or it could be something where she hit her in a spot where it would keep her from being able to move and interfere. And that could be something where the fallen devil will say, okay, well, now I don't have to worry about you. And the fallen devil may go on their merry way to continue whatever job they have in store for humanity. That could be how it goes. Now, I could be wrong, but that's just the vibes. It could go either one of those ways. Hope the innocent bystander makes it out alive. Curious how Denji's going to react to Asa or Yoru taking a wound like that. I wonder if it might trigger the original Chainsaw Man transformation, or if it might just trigger a new power in general for Denji. Very curious how that would turn out. But let me know y'all thoughts on this chapter down below. And if you liked the video, thumb it up, please subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.